Jesus Christ did not belong to any modern country, political party, or national flag. Long before the nations we know today even existed, he walked the earth in a small region of the Middle East. He was born in Bethlehem, raised in Nazareth, and preached throughout the lands of ancient Judea and Galilee. These places are not part of America, and they never were. The United States would not exist for nearly 2,000 years after his life on earth. Understanding this truth matters because faith is meant to unite humanity, not be claimed as property by any single nation. Jesus spoke to fishermen, farmers, women, children, and outsiders. He healed the sick, defended the poor, and challenged powerful leaders who used religion to control others. His message was never about elevating one country above another. His message was about transforming hearts. When people attempt to portray Jesus as belonging to a specific nation, they shrink the power of his teachings. The love he preached was not limited by borders, languages, or skin color. His compassion crossed every boundary society tried to enforce. He spoke with Samaritans when others refused. He touched those considered unclean. He lifted the voices of people who were ignored by the powerful. Jesus stood for truth even when it was dangerous. He confronted hypocrisy, warned against greed, and reminded people that the greatest commandment was love. Love for God and love for one another. That command was not written for one nation. It was written for the entire world. Faith should never be used as a weapon to divide people or claim moral superiority. The life of Jesus teaches humility, courage, mercy, and justice. Those values belong to every human being willing to live by them. Recognizing that Jesus was not American does not weaken faith. It strengthens it. It reminds us that his message is larger than politics, larger than borders, and larger than human attempts to control it. His teachings belong to humanity. Jesus Christ was born in the ancient town of Bethlehem, a historic city located in the region known in biblical times as Judea. He was raised in Nazareth, a small village in Galilee. These areas are part of the Middle East, not Europe and not America. Jesus lived during the 1st century under the rule of the Roman Empire. Because of where he lived, historians and biblical scholars agree that Jesus would have looked like the local Jewish population of that region. Jesus was Jewish, and part of the people known historically as Jews of the Levant. Skin tone. Most people from that region during the 1st century had medium to olive brown skin tones. Archaeological and anthropological studies of ancient populations in Judea show that the typical complexion would have been darker than the light European images often shown in Western paintings. Jesus likely had a complexion similar to many modern people living in Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, and surrounding areas. Hair texture and color. Based on historical evidence, and the genetic traits common among Middle Eastern Jewish populations of the time. His hair was most likely dark brown or black. The texture was probably thick and wavy or curly, which is common in the region. Men in that era typically wore short to medium-length hair and beards, especially among Jewish teachers and rabbis. Early Christian texts also support this cultural appearance. For example, Jewish men of that time followed traditional grooming practices, often keeping a beard as part of their identity and religious customs. Why the images look different? Many well-known images of Jesus were painted centuries later by European artists. Painters often portrayed biblical figures to resemble the people around them. That is why some traditional artwork shows Jesus with light skin, straight hair, and European features, even though historically he came from the Middle East. The bigger picture. The physical appearance of Jesus reflects the region and people among whom he lived. He was a Middle Eastern Jewish man who spoke languages like Aramaic and likely Hebrew. His message, however, reached far beyond geography, culture, or ethnicity. His teachings spread across continents and continue to influence billions of people around the world today. So when you claim that I am mocking Jesus for using a dark-skinned Jesus instead of the European fake Jesus, This tells me you know nothing about the real Jesus, so do not hop on the comments telling me that I am mocking Jesus, because I am not. Being racist is a you problem, and your problem is not my problem. Have a great day.